got Ayo. So we will be reviewing chapter 16 and 17 of our book. Just Ayo. Over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you, Manuel. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Franklin, I see you. Hi, Timmy. Hi, Atunde, Justin, Alpha. Hey, Sophia. Hi, Motala. Richard, my boss. Timmy, funny. Go away and come back. There, Alpha. Okay. I wish there'll be more of us. I see people are still joining, but yeah, let me share my screen. And please, if we can turn on our video cameras, video camera or videos, anyone shall. But yeah, okay. Share screen, share single screen, share. Okay. Can we all see my screen now? All right, thank you. Okay. So today I will be reviewing with y'all chapter 16 and 17 of the book we've been reading. I did not come to you by chance. Although today I'm coming to you by chance because they put me here. So yes. I wouldn't go around to ask who read the chapters or not. We will just be gisting. I like to think of this as gist. But there are some interesting should I say lessons that will be picked from this. Okay, today's is already off. I know you'd have read it.
No. Thank you for reminding me. I said I was going to do something this week. Thank you for reminding me. I completely forgot. Why are you laughing now? I don't like this. I don't like this. Please. I don't like this. Yes. So last week I went around the room a bit, right, to find out people that read the book. Right. Not many people read the book. And I said I was going to do it again this week. The book is not long. In fact, we are going to increase it to 3 chapters. The book is too small to be reading to 2 chapters. We'll finish it in 2025 at this rate.
Actually,
I want to go around the room. I asked him last week, so I want to ask her again. I asked Franklin last week, I want to ask her again. I want to ask Timile Ifani because I know she would have read it. Richard Babashola, did you read the book? Sorry, apologies. I hijacked your session small. We have to be practicing. You read it? I didn't hear you, Richard. Or was it just I that spoke?
Let me off my mic so in case someone is talking.
Richard Babashola.
Good morning.
Morning. Did you read the book?
I didn't finish.
Why? What happened now?
I had so many things. Sorry.
There are so many things. Okay, please.
I was stuck at last week. What's it called? Last week chapter. I could not continue.
Okay, let me help you. Right, when we have book review, read the chapter we are reading this week. You can read the past ones. Right, you can catch up at your own time, but read the current one. All right. Who am I looking for again? Laulu. Because I just come to look for trouble this morning. Did you read the book? Laulu, we can't hear you. I still can't hear you. I know you've omitted and muted again. Okay. Maya, did you read the book?
No, I did not read the book. Ayodele.
Why did you not read the book?
I don't know. This week just went by fast. So, but I normally do it, sir.
Okay, you can read it on the weekend too, by the way. Lydia, did you read the book? Yeah, chapters of the we can't hear you. I'm trying to hear you. Okay, thanks, Josiah. Sorry for hijacking your session. Josiah, Lydia, don't worry, you can mute. Please, the essence is is who we are. Again, we are in the month where we are discussing our DNA, what makes us us, right? Part of what makes us is the book that we read, right? Yes, Michael, thank you very much. Yes, plenty excuses. You can read it. I try to read it over the weekend so that there's no excuse that work happens during the week, right? Weekend is my time, even though I know some of you try to work over the weekend. So please, guys, let us ensure that we read this book. The book is in fact, it's too short. And if you think about it, the book is actually sweet. It's not technical, it's not hard. It's a life book, right? Please, let us all read the book. If you cannot find the book, if that's your excuse, reach out to me. I will help you in some way or another. But please, I will. Okay, don't let me go there. Just please, over to you. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. So please, let's try and read the book, or like what I do, and Atunde also mentioned is I just try to read the chapters for that week. So at least week by week, I can just be doing like whatever chapters had to be reviewed. But yeah, anyway. So again, for those of us who missed my intro, we'll be reviewing chapter 16 and 17. I kind of agree because these two chapters were actually very short. So maybe we should actually start doing three chapters, at least for this book. But oh well. So we're going to start with, let's the Ben and Jerry's show very well. We're going to start with Charity, McVitie's chocolates, and a tub of Ben and Jerry's vanilla ice cream. So for those of us who read the book, we will know what this means or what this symbolizes or why this is here. But anyway, I'll go around again for it. So, Jerry, what did you say? Use your nice intro. I mean, Jerry, what if I say it once, it's nice. If I say it again, it starts to sound like, but yeah. Anyway, so Kingsley and his sister Charity, at this point in book chapter 16, we begin where they visit the home of Cash Daddy. And basically, I'll skip the whole how they entered, how Charity was very, very like wowed by what she was seeing in the compound. Kingsley was used to it anyway. So skip to the part where they're upstairs and they meet Cash Daddy. So introductions. Cash Daddy welcomes them. I mean, he's very homely, gives them food, they eat, and then he goes to bring out McVitie's milk chocolate biscuits and a tub of Ben and Jerry's vanilla ice cream. I put the pictures for us to see. Because me, as I was reading it, I wouldn't have minded if someone like Ayodele or Michael had sent me Ben and Jerry's, you understand, or McVitie's. So I had to get the pictures because as I was, you understand, it makes sense as all of us are talking, maybe does the chopper one by one, you get. So the way Charity felt when she saw these snacks was the same way I felt because I'm like, I will not be visiting Cash Daddy like this. Let me be eating this because I'm sure most of us know how expensive these things are in the market. And Kingsley too talked about it like to himself because he couldn't remember the last time that he or anybody in his family had eaten McVitie's milk. It's not even the usual normal digestive 15 naira. It's not Obnob's 15 naira. This is the milk. This one we're talking about. Like anyway, yeah. So yeah, it was very funny because I was like, Ben and Jerry's, a whole Ben and Jerry's, a whole McVitie's with chocolates. Please, I don't have money in my book. But anyway. So Charity was elated at all this, and Cash Daddy ordered her to like sit down and demolish these snacks. To me, I wouldn't have even waited for an order to demolish. As you are giving me self, I won't wait for the thing to land. I'm already eating it. But yes, Timileyin says McVitie's is not. Yeah, actually, but still, Timileyin, sorry, we are old. So yeah, Charity was focused on snacks and Cash Daddy. Well, Michael, that's true. Unless maybe they'll talk with them outside or something. They'll wrap it inside black nylon. So, Cash Daddy to Kingsley out. I'm just trying to really summarize the chapter so those of us who didn't read it to understand. So, Cash Daddy invited Kingsley out of the room left charity with some quote unquote girls. I don't want to talk about those girls because it was bordering 18 plus. But I just want to talk about those girls. So anyway, he took Kingsley to a separate room that Kingsley hadn't been to before. And one of the things Kingsley noticed was that this room, maybe this is your first time saying it, Chai, let's say you and Kingsley did the same family. But anyway, so he took Kingsley to a room that he hadn't seen before. And the first thing Kingsley noticed was that this particular room, Cash Daddy specifically held the key to this room. There was nobody that helped him, like contrary to every other thing that happened in the house. I mean, Cash Daddy always had people opening doors for him, serving him food. Like he hardly did things with his hands, except maybe pick a phone call. But this particular room was like secretive, quote unquote. That Cash Daddy had to open it. He said that the experience was very, very astounding to him. It was like seeing the president of the United States trying to wash his clothes inside sink or something like that. Like that was how odd the sight was. And eventually they got into the room, and so Kingsley noticed that, oh, the room just looked like a normal office, but just had the usual mahogany table setting, the shelf, and da 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 da. But now this is where the major talk in the chapter is really about. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, before I continue the explanation, I want to ask everybody a question in the room. So I'll first throw the question out, then I would call names, nobody answers. So the job offer, what would you do? Just ask yourself, only you now. Each of us individually. What would you do if someone like e-money, I chose e-money here, and I'll explain my rationale for using e-money here. Let me explain my rationale first. I use e-money instead of Hush Puppy because Hush Puppy has been caught already. So e-money is somebody like Cash Daddy, in the sense that these people, and I'm sure by now we already know Cash Daddy does for online. For those of us who are reading the book. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I have to put my video off. Yeah. Likened e-money to Cash Daddy because these are people who are OGs in the 419 game. E-money took an internet out. Sydney. Well, anyway, so they're basically pretending that they have legitimate business when we all know that the way they got there is from 419, but I mean, there's no proof against them yet. So yes, Michael, e-money is more drugs, allegedly as well. So allegedly. Anyway, so let me just ask all of us, like, would you do a job if it does jam e-money on the road now, maybe inside Spa or somewhere at W Bar or something, and it just comes to you and says, that you look like a smart person, I'd like to offer you a job to work with me and do like money laundering or something. Will you take the job? I mean, this is e-money. Like, money is literally in his name. So e-money is electronic money. That's true. So will you take the job? I mean, think about it. You're here, you are barely surviving, you are doing okay, but then things could be better. And you see this guy is like, he pulls up in a convoy, he has like every single thing that you would. I mean, will you take the job? Let me just ask. Okay, Atunde says if it is a legit business, but it is not legit business. Michael says you upsell other services. Okay, you upsell other services, Canada. No, it's not that service he wants. He wants your smarts, your sense. He can see that you are very good in. If they train you well, you'll be able to shine in that aspect. Will you take the job? Let me see. Let me try and check the comments. Timmy says to be the accountant. Sydney, are you sure? Sydney, please, can you put your mic on? Let me hear why you're not giving.
Okay,
Maya
yeah.
too.
Yeah, okay. So it's there are so many things. I wouldn't say I've had a direct request, but I've had similar things in the past. It's a matter of integrity for me. When I look at it, if you take the job, even if you're an accountant or you are just close to such people, one day something would happen. If you are with a group of thieves, someday, one day, you'd, even if you're not doing exactly what they are doing, there'll be a problem. So I don't have energy for all those kind of things. Yeah.
Okay, that's very valid. Thank you, Sydney. Maya, you said you won't take either. Please, could you justify why?
My G, me I've sure realized that when you do one, you will do two, and then you will do three and four. You know how there used to be that advice against like joining cults in university, how they'll say that, they'll come to you with they want to help you, Kinikon, they want to take you out of this thing, they want to protect you from this person, or they'll say, please just help me do this one thing. It usually starts as a simple thing to be done, or money rituals in those movies. They'll say, don't worry, you're not sacrificing your mom, just that bed on the street, pick that bed on the street, and or walk naked in the night. Next thing you are doing, I just feel like there's usually a tiny catch for crazier things, and you can't do what you don't want to do. And if you don't want to do it, don't start it, because when you start, you would end up doing more than you wanted to do. So that's how I reject, like, but I've had some crazy invites or whatnot in the past. And aside from the fact that I'm a child of God, one of the major reasons why I said no was because I know that when you do the little one that looks legitimate, that looks like it's not no biggie, you would eventually do the one that would put you in trouble. Like Sydney was saying, even if you are the IT guy for the thieves, one day he go knock you where he did. So just be safe. Don't explain. Yeah.
All right, nice one, man. Very solid points. A lot of people agree with you in the comments. I have seen your comments. Very solid though. Please don't spoil your political career before they go and dig up your past. Okay. Michael says that from club dance they start. Well, I say. All right, so I would come back to this, especially the points that Sydney and Maya made eventually. So let's move on. Okay, let me explain the job offer first before I move on. So why Cash Daddy called Kingsley to that secluded, secretive room? He first tried to let him down with the whole, oh, how is your dad? How is everything? How is blah blah blah? Then eventually, Sha, he began to ask or tell Kingsley that he notices that basically he doesn't like how they are scrounging around for money. They are not exactly comfortable or rich. I mean, he literally had to just drop money for his father's treatment and stuff. And that he sees that Kingsley is a very smart boy, and so he asked Kingsley that, is he good at maths? And Kingsley was like, yeah, he's very good at maths, even calculations. And Cash Daddy is like, very good, very good, very good. Yeah, thank you, Sydney. So Cash Daddy had told Kingsley that he has a job offer for him. And Kingsley was thinking that, oh, maybe it is NNPC job, because he had noticed some NNPC letterheaded papers around the room, and thinking that his leg was about to work for him again. Leg as in connections, if you remember about the whole connection stuff we had discussed. But little did he know that the job offer Cash Daddy was talking about was nothing NNPC related. It was to join him in the 419 business. I mean, so it's to go and bomb, as they call it these days. It's to go and bomb. So Kingsley was taken aback, and he was like, is this man serious at all? And he kept remembering his dad's words, and then the whole church thing came. Michael, please. And the whole church thing, Bible chapters, and I mean, looking at it from the holy or moral parts now, and his dad's advice and talk about what's the word now, morality and what is right from what is wrong, and being a honest person and all that. And he was like, Cash Daddy, are you like joking or something? You expect me to come and do? And Cash Daddy was just clearing. You know what was paining? Because I was putting myself in Kingsley's shoes, and it was paining me as well. Because I'm like, for every what's the word now? For every counter that Kingsley could think of, or for every defense Kingsley could think of, Cash Daddy almost had a better retort for him. Like, he wouldn't even wait for Kingsley to land. He already has a reply. Bam. Like, you know, to get to one point when you're talking to someone, it's not as if you don't know what you are saying, no. But it gets as that person with the talk, when you call the reason, say, wait, too. Am I actually, I don't know if it's a form of gaslighting, but it was somehow, so Kingsley was just confused. He was really, really in a tough place because he had a serious decision to make. Stick to your moral, honest, suffering, broke side of life, or try the immoral, dishonest, rich side of life. That he could see. He has already experienced, he has tasted part of it because of what Cash Daddy has done for him. So he has tasted part of it. He has seen it firsthand, how good it can be. And he knows what he's going through currently. So that was a very, very crucial encounter between both of them. Yes, maybe Bomberman, between two of them. And eventually, yeah, okay, let me hold on first. Let's go to next. With the devil and the angel on both shoulders. I hope you guys put there, please. So anyway, so he was struggle between morals or survival, angel versus demon, what is right, what is wrong. And this is kind of similar to what Sydney and Maya just spoke about, because Maya mentioned that aside from the fact that he's a child of God, there are just some things that, because we have home training, so that whole morality is always there. And you, and that wallet falls on the floor. And even if you see a huge sum of money in the wallet, you likely call the person back that, oh, sorry, your wallet dropped. Instead of you to pick that wallet and go, you may not realize in that split second, that decision you made, you actually had two choices. Some other people would have picked the wallet, locked up, and just kept going. But more often than not, you find out that you pick the good option, call the person back, and give them the wallet. Myself. So yes. Now, during that discussion in Cash Daddy's office, as Cash Daddy was really being a strong advocate of the devil and really showing Kingsley that, see, all this your school that you are going to, all this whatever, all this honesty, da. And Kingsley was really trying to fight back with the, no, there are better ways. I don't have to, da. And then Kingsley said something. Kingsley said this, or rather, he thought about this. Michael says the illustration reminds me of the show Good Omens. I don't know that show. I'm not sure. If you've seen that show, please you can reply to Michael. So Kingsley thought to himself while Cash Daddy was doing his temptation job. And Kingsley thought, he said, my father was learned and honest, yet he could neither feed his family nor clothe his children. My mother was also learned, and her life had not been particularly improved much by education. He thought about his father's friends, and they were all riding jalopy up and down, all these rickety cars. And most of his university lecturers and funny clothes and desperate attempts to fight off hunger by selling them. I'm sure you remember when we were in school and lecturers will be selling handouts. Handout that for real, if you actually go out and buy that handout or textbook, it's be like maybe 500 naira. Lecturer will be calling it like 2.5 or 1.5 because they are using that money to, I mean, their salary is not enough. And then there is Cash Daddy, Uncle Boniface here is their savior in time of crisis. He had not even gone to school. I mean, secondary school, he didn't complete it. But that's the person that's giving them money. So all of this was going through Kingsley's mind. Similar, yes, wow. All of this was going through Kingsley's mind, and he was like, does it actually pay? This is a very, very tough spot for most of us. If you put yourself in Kingsley's shoes, it's a very tough spot. So now I want to ask us, actually, we have seen our society of current, maybe, but do we really have to do bad to be rich? Okay, maybe I'm coming to this question. But first of all, on this slide here, let's think about what we're seeing in our society now. I'm sure we've noticed that much younger people are looking for quick access to money. They hardly take education seriously again. Like, why do we think that is? Or rather, what's the point of education? Because looking at what Kingsley's thoughts were, is that being educated, is mom being educated, they can barely clothe themselves, they're struggling for food, they're living in face me, I slap you. I mean, like, and the person that is helping them is someone that didn't even finish secondary school. We see this in every way in our society right now. So, like, what is the point of education? Let me ask us first. Actually, looking at our society,
Just me, I can't hear Iron.
Yeah, I can hear him. Yeah, now, so who wants to answer now? Anybody can answer. There, you answer since you put something in the comments.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So, like I said, the education, so maybe Ayo should have asked the question of is going to school, actual school, not education, because like I said, education is subjective. Just today, as I was going to go and get coffee outside, I literally saw some kids working in the vulcanizer shop, and literally I asked myself that a 5 years ago me would have been complaining and saying that these kids are not having the best education, but then that is their education, right? That's what they can afford. And I'm not saying that organizing is a bad job, right? In as much as it's not an office job, it's not a bad job at the same time. They are learning something. And kids will go to school at that age learning something. So they are actually in their own school with what they can afford. They are learning something. It's the same thing as you see a young kid learning some graphic designing or learning coding. He's learning something, he's in a school, it's education, right? So it depends on the kind of education. Some people can't do your education. That is obviously a bad one, but education is like I said, it's subjective, right? Everything is educative. It depends on what you actually decide to actually learn, but anything you find yourself, anyway you find yourself is actually educative. Thank you.
okay, thank you, Derry. Hi guys. Sorry, I apologize. Network was networking, or rather, it wasn't networking. But anyways, so I got like some of what you said there. So Derry, leave me alone. I did not leave you by chance. So yeah, I guess you're talking about the point of education and that, which is cool. So where is that maybe's comments? Okay, so I like this question maybe asked in the comment section. But do we really have to do bad to be rich? Let me first maybe attempt to answer in my own way. Then I would love to hear other people's opinions on that. So maybe me, let's say do you really have to do bad? You don't have to do bad to be rich. I feel like the issue here is how people, is it quantify or qualify rich? because rich is relative. Some people just want to have a 2-bedroom bungalow house by themselves and one Toyota Corolla Uber and one child going to maybe public school. And that's fine. Like, to them, they are rich. That is settled. So other people want to have like a 6-bedroom terrace duplex in Dolphin Estates with like 5 cars, maybe 3 of them are G-Wagons, and then like 5 kids schooling in Oxford University abroad. That is what rich is to them. Now, the problem is, to me, when you have such a vision for yourself, or whatever you feel like rich is for you, if you do not now put in the work, the right work to get there, or maybe you're putting in the legal right work, but that legal right work is not getting you there at all, then you're now feeling that, you must get there by hook or by crook, by anywhere, anyhow. That's when you will now start being like forced or start leaning towards anyhow, even if it's illegal money, even if I thief money, just because you're trying to force that lifestyle into what it is. Me personally, I believe in living at the immediate moment, as in at your, what's the word now? Within your means. Live within your means at where you are and work to something better. Me personally, that's how I believe it. I'm not saying I don't have a dream. I have a dream to be like better. But for now, for where I am, I will live within my means and work to be better. But some people now, this within their means, they don't want it at all. They just want that they want that 10 years today, which is what will force a lot of people to start doing bad. So I don't know, maybe that's my own understanding of that. Does anyone else want to chip in on that? Do you have to be bad to be rich? Do you have to do bad to be rich? Yes, peace of mind is better than money, Michael again. Let me call someone who I have never called before. Okay, hi Velma. I can see Velma on the call. Tell me something, I'm coming for you. Hi Velma. Velma, you're on the call. I can see your name here. Okay, so Velma is not answering. I told me saying Epos. I've called you. Let me see.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get the question. I was just
so maybe I was asking that, do we have to do bad to be rich? Like, what's your opinion, or what do you think about that? Do we have to do bad?
No. You don't have to do bad to be rich. And you can't be rich working under someone. That's another thing I know.
Yeah.
So to be rich, you have to is majorly about discipline, but in a good way as well. Nobody stumbles into riches by luck. Well, some people stumble into riches by luck, maybe by birthright and all. But just actually, some people stumble through all those lottery winners and all that. And those ones are still legit. But the ones that we know, the ones I'm talking about, all the lucky people that are into either money ritual or Yahoo or illegal businesses. Those ones are not, but then there are lots of people that actually, work smart and hard legitimately to gain their riches. So yeah, you can actually walk into wealth, into riches, legitimately. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Thomason. Thank you very much. That was right. I'm sure most of us, if we didn't hear, there was a point Thomason made that is not part of what we're trying to teach here, but he said that you cannot get rich working for someone. But let's just keep that to ourselves and think about it outside here. Straight bullet to lucky people. All right, so in that discussion that Kingsley had with Cash Daddy. Eventually, at the end of the discussion, Kingsley stormed out of the office. He didn't take the job. Like, he more or less just vexed and was like, I beg, I'm going. And he left Cash Daddy. Yeah, so that's what happened in the room here in the chapter is going to affect the next few chapters coming soon. Eventually, you will notice this. This was one of the things that Cash Daddy told Kingsley while they were discussing. When Kingsley was trying to praise his dad and talk about honesty and morality and da. Cash Daddy said, is honesty an achievement? Personality is one thing, achievement is another thing altogether. So what has your father achieved? How much money is he leaving for you when he dies? Or is it his textbooks that you collect and pass to your own children? Well, I didn't pay me. So as I was reading the book, I was like, yay. But anyway, just food for thought. You can see how very, 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 very tasking that situation was. Because person go sit down like this for your front, they have your popsy and you know go feel available. Hey. But anyway, so let's move on. Death and memories. So after Kingsley left Cash Daddy's house and dragged his sister Charity. By the way, Charity was still eating ice cream and McVitie's throughout all of this. So maybe when Timmy buys McVitie's for you, you understand what Charity was understanding at that point. So Lydia says, from an external perspective, honesty is a big achievement. Okay, nice. So after they left Cash Daddy's house, if you remember, Kingsley's dad was at the hospital. So they had gone to the hospital briefly, and Kingsley's mom had informed Kingsley to go back to the house and prepare the house. The dad was to leave the hospital the next day. You get, and the doctors had told them because they didn't have enough money to afford a physiotherapist. So the doctor had told them of some little exercises and things the dad could be doing at home and ways that they could take care of the dad. So Kingsley had gone back home, called some of his people. They had cleaned the house, prepared. The mom was still at the hospital with the dad. And then Kingsley took a nap or went to sleep in expectance of the dad coming home the next day. And while he was sleeping, he had a dream. He dreamt a dream. He had a dream. And in the dream, he saw his dad. And forgive me, but I forget what the dad asked him or told him in the dream. Actually, I've suddenly forgotten what he asked him or told him. But it was kind of linked to the decision-making he had to do at Cash Daddy's house earlier that day. But then he suddenly woke up. And immediately he woke up, he made his way to the hospital. But as he was getting to the hospital, he said he suddenly had this feeling. Yes, thank you, Mike. I remember now. Yes. Something about his dad appeared to Kingsley in his dream and asked him about the whole, do you want to die poor? Like the situation and everything that we're in right now, is this how it's going to be? So he already had a lot on his mind. I mean, throughout that day, he was presented with an opportunity to, Michael, please, now village people. So he was presented with an opportunity during that day. He made a decision, per se, stormed out of Cash Daddy's house. Then he was thinking about it throughout the day. Then suddenly at night while sleeping, his dad's spirits appeared to him in his dream. And then, like Michael says, we all know that was his dad. Then on his way to the hospital, he started having this feeling where you just know that you've lost something or you've lost someone. He started having that feeling. And for those of us who read the book, we already know where I'm going. So as he got to the hospital, he noticed immediately from the reception, the receptionist and the nurses there were looking at him some type of way. And his suspicions were more or less confirmed there. The next thing he heard was his mother's voice, screaming and shouting. And he already knew, in fact, I'm sure we already know what happened. His dad died, for those of us who are still oblivious. His dad died overnight. Just around that time that he said his dad appeared to him in his dream. Oh, yes, maybe. Oh, yes. While I was reading this, yes, Sophia, yes, you actually get that feeling. While I was reading this, I don't know how many of us have lost our dads or people really close to us, but I kind of actually remember. It's very weird, actually, because I remember my dad passed in 2021, and I actually vividly remember that the morning he passed at 2 a.m. and I woke up at 2 a.m. because I actually, for real, had a dream about my dad, and I woke up that 2 a.m. and I found out I was at that same 2 a.m. And I don't know how that thing happens, for real. Don't worry, thanks, Sophia. I don't know how that thing happens, but when I read the book, I was like, oh, so this thing actually happens, right? And I don't know, I don't know what to call it. Leader says it's a premonition. Well, I don't know. Oh, Michael, for both your parents. So I don't know how that happens, but I could relate as I read the book. For those of us who, unfortunately, have lost someone very dear to us, because I'm seeing the comments now, and apart, it's something that happens. So I just find it very weird. I don't know if it's weird or it's interesting to me. I feel like it's interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon, but hey, it's above man. We can't comprehend it. So yeah, so that happened, and Kingsley was very calm because he more or less just knew already that okay, this has happened. He just used my eye and confirmed. So his mom was screaming and wailing and all that. He got to the room where his dad was, and the mom, I'm sure, as we see it inside African Magic, it's true. It actually happens in real life. I've also witnessed it. How African mothers will throw themselves on the walls, throw themselves on the ground, they roll around, and all of that. It's actually real. I've seen it, I've witnessed it. And that's what was happening with Kingsley's mom as well. The nurses and doctors were trying to hold her. She was fighting all of them. She was like, no, no, no. She was, So the whole ish. And there, sorry, there. Yeah, so Kingsley looked at his dad. They had already covered his dad in white clothes. Oh, all this thing, I just remember my own dad today use white. I don't know where they always buy that white clothes from. Yeah, they are covered him head to toe. And Kingsley was thinking that the hospital doesn't have wrappers or clothes for people who are living, but they suddenly have wrappers for people who have died. He just thought about it by the way. And then he went to his dad. They had covered his dad up. He removed the white cloth, looked at his dad's face. He held his dad's hand. It was very stiff, very cold. He wouldn't try, he felt for a pulse, like still trying to clear his doubt, whether it's film trick or something. Felt for a pulse, didn't feel anything. He even opened his eyelid, stared at his dad's eye. Some doctors stood beside him and were just waiting for him. He eventually sat down. Then suddenly memories started flooding his mind. He remembered his dad telling him stories, memories of when he was a kid. His dad telling him stories about the tortoise back. I'm sure most of us remember that story of how there was famine in the animal kingdom, and then they had to kill to give food, and tortoise had to hide his mother and was using rope to climb to heaven. I don't know, some of us remember. I don't know about Gen Z people, but most of us should remember. Then suddenly the memory changed again, and he remembered some time when he was still a kid, and when his aunties came to the house and were shouting at the dad because in-law problems. I can't relate, but those of us who are married, maybe people can relate. Then he remembered going to the village with his dad. Everything, like remembering childhood, just childhood memories. Go to the village, how they were eating village food, seeing the buildings being built, all those things. Remember his graduation day, how his dad came to adjust his uniform so the picture could be taken well. Like all of these. All right, hold on. Yeah, so all of these memories flooding his mind. Then the Nollywood flashback. Motola, please. Then the last person or the last memory he had was that of Ola. I mean, throughout this chapter, they almost didn't mention Ola throughout this chapter. But yeah, the last memory he had was that of Ola and how she would have been there to console him. Why this Ola memory is important is because, as we all know, the reason why Ola kind of isn't with him again is mostly because of her mom, but because he is broke. He, being Kingsley, is broke. Again, let's remember what this chapter is about. Temptation. Should I stay moral? Should I stay good and be broke? Or should I join bad gang, cash daddy, and start bumping, start doing phone, and start doing wire? Again, think about Ola. He loves Ola a lot. If he has money, he will get Ola back. Easy peasy. She wouldn't have left him. She would have been there to console him right now. The father probably would have gotten better health care, better treatment. They won't be in the situation they're in. So let us all just keep these in mind. Nepa, beg now. Eh? So let us keep these in mind, yeah, moving forward. Yeah, Michael, don't mind me. I even typed it as King. It's supposed to be 2 O's, yeah. Hola, hola, hola. Hola, hola, we them boys. But yeah. All right, so let's keep these in mind going forward. And yeah, I want to believe, where is my King? Yeah. So now, how do we think Kingsley's father's death will change or impact his life? Let me throw this out. Anybody want to talk about it? Think about everything I just explained now, especially with the Ola stuff. I don't know if I pronounce it well again. Okay. Hi, Atunde. Yes,
I just
Atunde.
pressure Tiwa.
Prayer. Okay. Maybe says he'll turn to a bad guy. Okay. Let me look for someone else to ask. Yeah, Michael says the virgin of a firstborn son. I think that's what you say prayer. Plenty prayer. Let me call Franklin actually. Franklin, how far?
Sorry, let me just add a bit. Sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
Right. So yes, there's that pressure. Honestly, I'm looking forward to reading the next few chapters. But I can almost imagine that Kingsley will go and meet his uncle because they are desperate.
I see.
Go to school. They need to eat in the house. They're probably in a rented apartment. They need to pay rent. Right? I mean, you think about the series of things. He will look for a justifiable reason to work with Uncle. What's that?
Boniface.
Uncle Boniface, right? But he will rationalize it in a very simple. Again, this is my postulation. I might be wrong. We'll read the chapter to see. Rationalize in a way that okay, I'm just helping to add the money he's collecting. I'm not actively, participating. But yeah, just my thoughts.
Thank you, Ayotinde. And I like the way you just explained it because again, let us backtrack. At the beginning of, or slightly after the beginning of this, my review, I had asked that if money offers you job, will you take it? And see what all of us were saying at that time. We're not take it. Okay, let me go back to Sydney and Maya. God forbid, but put yourselves in Kingsley's shoes right now, at this point of the chapter, right now. What would you do? Again, what do you think Kingsley would do? Now after going through all of that, Sydney, your hand is up.
Okay, yes, now, so looking at it from this context, it's tougher. So it's almost like someone that is drowning. You're drowning and you see a piece of wood. It might not carry you up, but somehow instinctively you would want to hold onto it. So probably I'm saying this from a perspective of, to an extent, I'm comfortable. That's why I'm not doing this. So it will be pretty tough. Yeah.
Okay. Maya, God have mercy upon us. Maya, please.
Oh,
Will
my
you,
dear.
will you change your mind?
Go now allow I to see what our
Hey,
hearts
go.
can carry.
Don't worry.
Omo. So well, just I don't know.
It's tough here. It's very tough here.
It's very tough, man. Actually,
So I think
it's actually tough.
now we can understand what Kingsley is going through in the book. So it's because when we try and look at it, we are adding our real life like status where we are. But put yourself inside the book. Imagine that you yourself, you are Kingsley. God forbid, but just imagine. It's a very, very, very tough position, no, actually. Franklin, I won't hear you, I beg. Franklin.
Okay,
Yeah,
everyone.
how do you feel? How you feel say this thing will affect?
The truth is this. Now, Kingsley as a person is definitely caught within the devil and the WC right now. And
Yeah.
that's to consider a lot of things. That's to put a lot of things in consideration. One, how would his family fare? Secondly, how would he survive? I mean, it's the economy is the situation is already hard for him, even while his father was alive. Now imagine when his father is no more there. So I think now his morality will now be called into question. His morality, his moral standards. This is where his moral standards will now be questioned or will now play its own role, right? But the truth is this: in this situation, to be honest with this, as it stands, whatever way he ends up taking might unquote be justified. All right, because I mean, a man has to survive. It's not just him. He has his siblings to take care of. He has his mom. He has dreams and aspirations he wants to achieve. So the deal is,
Yeah.
I just feel if he ends up going to his uncle Boniface, is there anything to like hold it? No, I don't think there is, because desperate situations call for desperate measures. Yeah. So for me, I think it's going to be a dicey one. It's going to be a very difficult one for him. But I hope in the next chapters come, we get to see him choosing what is best and listening to his dad's instructions or the advice from his father. Because a father's advice can never lead you to can never lead you astray. Instead, it will lead you to where you want to go to. So I hopefully I expect him to toe towards the road the father showed him, and not because of his situation now decides to go into crime, the life of crime or whatever, to get rich. So yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you, Franklin. Okay, Ayodele, then Vincent after Ayodele. Yes.
Okay, yeah, what I want to say, someone called me and distracted my thoughts. Okay, yes. I just wanted to say that that feeling, okay, well, I like experienced it, right? And so just using as an example, based on what Kingsley said, when my father passed, right, you had a lot of visitors, you had a lot of people that promised you a lot of things, right? But you find out that after a while, these promises are just words that people just say, just to, glamorize the occasion, so to speak, right? I had a father's friend that told my mother, right? He's a very good friend. I told my mom, they had falling out at some point, but they're still friends. I told my mom that she shouldn't worry. My sister was still in school then, that he will pay for her school fees, till she graduated. I think she was maybe 300 level or 200 level at the time. Shingbang did not come. Shingbang. Well, yeah. Pressure tiwa.
Yeah, that's I don't even know, man. That's just sad. Vincent, how far?
Okay, I can quickly relate to what Ayodele said. I know
Yeah.
losing your father and so many people coming around to promise you heaven and earth, and at the end of the day, you don't get to see anything. But it's just one of those things. Now, what I quickly want to say was the fact that I was reading through yesterday. I think I read this guy that organized chess in the slum. I've forgotten that his name. So the guy was talking about Yahoo boys, and he was like growing up in the Kodu. That the only thing that didn't make him to join Yahoo boys was the fact that he didn't have money to buy laptop. That because
Okay.
he was desperately needing to do something. I think, I don't know, maybe his father has died, I don't know, but in that instance, I was saying that he just wants something to help his mother. But God helping him, he was able to find himself in another direction. So looking at this case, it's only God that can help. And quickly, there's this joke that I listened to some while ago of a guy that wants to get married, and his fiance or fiance, anyone you call it, younger sister was just all over him, like really liked this guy. Now, but he was just trying to be cautious. Then let's say like some few days to the wedding, he now had to pick up something. They called him that come to your in-laws house and get some stuff. Okay, say yeah. Now quickly went down. Getting there, he didn't meet anybody at home. He only saw the younger sister, all dressed sexily, all kind of stuff. I was like, what's happening? And he's like, I know you like my sister and you're about getting married to her. But please, I like you and I don't mind just one night stand with you. Just the guy was just there looking, and the lady said, okay, you know what, think about it. You know my room upstairs. Just come there. And the guy thought of it, and after a while, the guy had to turn back and left the house. On getting outside, he met the family. The girl's family was like, oh, your past our tests. And the guy was like, wow. And the guy now told me that I reading that, forget to, we're just going to get condom inside his car. That's what he wants to go and do. My take is that it's only God that can help Franklin. Seriously. Because if you look at it, it's only God that can help not to make the wrong choice. Because especially what like Ayodele said, it's normal. We are not in the shoe. You can be saying, I have been in the shoe of I lost my father before I even finished secondary school. And I know what it means. Being here today is only God divines them, not that one is that morally upright or anything. No. Yeah, being here today is just God doing his own thing. That's just what I would
say. Thank you, Vincent. People, for those of you who didn't get the joke or who didn't hear it, contact Vincent after. But yeah, priority. So that's basically a very, very tough position. Very tough position. Is someone's mic on? Someone's mic is on. Is that? Okay.
Our storyteller know off mic.
Oh, okay. Thanks, man. Okay. And yes, so we've come to the end of my review. I left you all with a cliffhanger, so everybody's now thinking, what will Kingsley do? What will Kingsley do? So we all have our thoughts on what Kingsley will do, but until next week, we'll find out. So, arigato. That was the end. So over to you. Is there any announcement or anything? Emmanuel, hi.
All right. Thank you very much, Jostayo, for the review. And I hope we have all learned something from the chapters that we reviewed. And I will see you at our Feel Good Friday by 4 p.m.